In this video, I'm going to take you through an advanced progressive rock bass line. Hi there, I'm Dan from onlinebasscourses.com. Hope you're doing really well today. If you want regular weekly bass lessons and you want to take your bass playing to the next level, then make sure you subscribe by clicking the button below. This video is part of a series I'm doing on different styles of bass lines and what you as a bass player can gain from those styles. So this is progressive rock, and I deliberately wrote this line to be technically challenging and to have some different time signatures and different scales going on. And if you listen to bands like Dream Theater, which this riff is inspired by, and Rush, who Dream Theater were inspired by, then you will kind of hear a lot of time signatures and interesting harmonies going on. It's not easy listening music, right? So for that reason, it's going to increase your chops and it's going to increase your knowledge of theory. So I highly recommend that you check out some of these bands. One thing to mention with this is it's very fast. It's 150 BPM, this bass line. I wrote it to be challenging. It involves a little bit of extended fingering in the fretting hand and the plucking hand, some fast finger styles. So if you feel any pain, especially in the muscles here, then stop your practice for the day and move on and practice the next day. But this does give us an opportunity to practice properly, meaning to play these sections really, really slowly and build up. So first three bars, we're in E Phrygian. It's the third mode of the C major scale, and it is that first to second note, E to the F, which is a minor second, that gives it that really dark rock edge. So we got, if you put your first finger on the 5th fret and line up your fingers one finger per fret, all of this first bit lies naturally under the fingers there. So that's open E to the 7th fret of the A string, 3rd finger. And then slowly that's frets 8, 7, 5 on the A string. And then 8, 7, 5, 7 on the E string. So you can follow that tab. So then we get to this bit, which is 2 bars of 7/16. So that time signature there, the top number refers to the number of beats in the bar, and the bottom number of a time signature tells you what type of beat. So the 16 refers to 16th notes. So you've got 7 16th notes in a bar. And progressive rock music uses a lot of interesting time signatures. You're not going to find this music in clubs, you know, it's not going to happen. So that little section also, I've used the whole tone scale. Whole tone scale is just simply where you play any note and just keep going up a whole tone every time, which is 2 frets for us bass players. So we've got to be careful with this bit because it's fast and it also involves a big stretch with that fretting hand. So let me just show you the notes of this scale. So going from the E string, it's E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. What I'm doing here, so kind of in 3rd position, so first finger on the 3rd fret and then lining up the other ones, but I need the 2nd fret. So what's happening here is that the first finger is just reaching down to get that, and you've got this situation here where you're playing first finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the 4th fret, and little finger on the 6th fret. That's extended fingering. It's quite tough. Again, if you're feeling any pain here, you know, do stop. Be careful with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then continuing on from the scale, we go frets 3, 5, 7 on the A string, and then fret 4 on the D string. That's the whole tone scale. Now, here's the important point with this. I'm alternating my fingers strictly apart from one point, which makes this sit under the fingers better. You might find a way of doing this a different way. But I can't play this without doing this. So what I'm doing is I'm going index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, Yeah. Index, middle, index, middle, index. This is the point. So when you get to the 3rd fret of the A string and you've just played that note with the index, we need to then return, you can see on the tab here, to the E string. And it's at that point that I'm doing a little rake. So instead of continuing that strictly alternating pattern with the plucking hand, I'm just going in the direction that I was before. So raking down there. And then at that point, continuing on with strict alternate picking. And to get this, you've just got to slow it down. So the first bar, anything that you play like this that is complicated. I was in a Dream Theater tribute band when I was a kid, and there was so much that you had to learn that was complicated. So the best way to do it is just to take a little tiny section, get your fingers really used to the passage, which just involves you repeating it slowly. Repeat the correct movements, okay? So don't rush away with this. Really slowly. So when you get to that point there, you've done the first bar. So I'm just going slow just to make sure that the fingers are right. Don't neglect your plucking hands. A lot of people look at this hand and neglect this hand. You've got to get both right. And then the next bar. So I know when I get to there, the 3rd fret of the A string, the C, then I'm back to my... And I've got a bit of time to shift back up here. So if you listen to prog rock music, you'll be required to raise the bar in terms of your own technique and also your knowledge of theory and the fretboard and all kinds of things like that. So I think it's a great style of music to listen to for that reason. So for the other videos that are going to be coming out, remember to subscribe, hit the notifications button, and I hope to see you next time.